Hi, everyone. It is Scott, and today I am talking to my buddy Dwight. Um, and Dwight and I are going to talk about um, the dynamics of a gay man being friends with a straight man. And his wife, Tiffany, will join us at some point because I'm friends with both of them. Their entire family I'm friends with. And we've been friends for, I'm going to say 10, 11 years. I don't even know. Like, how old is McKenna?
9.
Okay, so then 9 years. Because when
Yeah.
I
Well,
attended
10.
her, oh, yeah, because I attended her first birthday, or
Yeah.
yeah. So, so let's just dive into this. So, you and I have been.
Wait, when you do dive in, are you about to ask me those questions that you always ask that freak me out? Or are you saying dive in, like, let's start the small talk part?
Let's start the conversation. Like,
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. I didn't know if you're like number one.
no, it's not
Okay.
gonna be like I'm not gonna be firing off questions. We're just gonna talk. Like that's it. Like we
Okay, okay,
normally
okay.
talk. It's like so. Imagine we're just on the phone and we're just having a conversation. That's what this is. So
Perfect.
Dwight and I don't see each other any longer as much because they moved out of Georgia, and so we
Do you have to qualify that as visually C? Because you could be dating C. I don't know who your viewers are.
oh well, given that I've already qualified and said that you are straight, they know we're not dating.
I know, but I think they have to see us mess with each other in order to understand the friendship part too.
So it's funny that you bring that up because yesterday I was having a conversation with Wendell that we were recording, and I mentioned to him, and I don't think you and I have ever talked about this, that when we went to the firing range and we were we were shooting guns and then we left out and the people behind the camera or behind the counter thought that Dwight and I were on a date and they said something weird. I can't remember what it was, but we had driven separately. So when we got back in our cars, I was like, what the fuck was like, why did they think we were on a date? And
So wait, no, you have to give the context of what he said makes it funnier to people
I don't
why
remember
you
what
were
he
pissed.
said. I just remember how I felt. Like I felt weirded out by that. Like I was uncomfortable with them
He said
thinking.
he wanted to go next.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I
Yeah,
forgot.
that's
I
right.
forgot that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He wanted, and he was talking to you. He wasn't talking to me.
He's
Um,
talking to us.
well, it freaked me out. Like I thought it was just bizarre. I was like, why? Why do people think we're on a date? And that's so. And just so people know, like that happened kind of often with us. Like people often thought we were on a date. One time, Dwight and I went to the movies, and we took his two kids to the movie. His son and his oldest daughter and his middle son, we took them to the movies. I don't even remember what we went to see. And people were looking at us as though we were like a couple
A
and
family unit.
with our kids. And I kind of was watching that going, why do people automatically assume that we are a couple? It's a weird kind of thing. And I never talked to you about like how that made you feel or if it was weird for you or what your thoughts were about experiencing that because I was weirded out by it.
I think from a straight person's perspective, when you have two people that are out doing stuff, you automatically wonder how they're related or how they know each other. If you go to the beach and you see a man and a woman walking, you assume they're together. If you see two women walking, you may not. But if it happened in Aruba too, right? And Tiff was there. So I think
But yeah,
that I think that it's the natural thing. And I think that's why there's a disconnect between straight people and gay people hanging out together is because of that. But it's also the reason why people don't interracially date a whole lot because people stare and they wonder if that's going to bother you,
oh no,
if that's your I don't want to do this because I don't like the way people are looking at me or the attention, you're going to struggle with any type of relationship.
That's a
So,
really great correlation. I hadn't thought about that but that's actually 100% true. Like, because people are curious about it. Well, and I think that people are naturally curious about. I experience regularly that people are naturally curious about me, and I can feel it, and I'm sure
well, you
you.
walk around looking like a supermodel all the time. So, of course.
See, that's why people think we're dating because you say things like that.
Hey, man, I didn't dress you this morning. But
um,
that's, I mean, if you look interesting, then people will take interest,
yeah,
right? It's the
yeah,
natural progression
yeah.
of things.
That's
So,
true.
I mean, I think that's kind of a natural thing.
And then when you have two interesting looking people, then the it's exponentially greater. The interest is compounded, basically. And
Yeah.
just so
And then
everyone knows,
and then you throw kids into that, and you
yes,
throw, my wife walking around, and it's like, well, what is all of
what
that,
is going on? Right. People are
Yeah.
trying to figure that out. Right.
Yeah.
And I think the like another variable is the attractiveness, because if it were just random, you know, regular looking people, for I don't want to unacknowledge the fact that, you know, you're a good looking man, Tiff is a beautiful woman, I, could be a handsome person. And so I think that that naturally draws attention, and your kids are beautiful. It naturally draws attention to people trying to figure it all out.
So
I
I'll say that I don't know that the attractiveness matters because my daughter went to the prom this year.
Okay,
And so we went to this
that's
beautiful
crazy.
place. Yeah, we'll get to that. I mean, yeah, we'll get to that. Well, we went to this beautiful place to take pictures of her. She didn't have a date. And while we were taking pictures of her, there was another couple taking pictures. And the girl swapped out for another girl to take pictures with the same guy. And they were a throuple,
Wait,
right?
is that a thing in high school? A throuple is a thing?
Everything that's a thing with adults is a thing with kids now because they have access to information on their phone, so that they do it. So yeah. And the dad of the second girl was angry taking the pictures, right? Because it was a guy and two girls taking a picture, but they didn't look like anything. And I was super curious because it was high school and my brain
Yeah,
was exploding.
mine is right now. Like, what in the world? Like, how does that even? So does that? I mean, you can't answer this, but my brain immediately goes to sex. Like, are they all having sex with each other? Like, what in the world? It's
I
just,
don't know. That's where my brain went too. And then I was like, they're in high school. I can't think about that.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Like, it
but I
feels so
was there.
pervy.
If her dad wasn't mad, I would have thought it was a cousin that was just tagging along.
You would have been none the wise. You wouldn't have paid it any attention.
The anger of that father,
Yeah, yeah,
I knew what was going on in that
yeah,
moment. So
yeah,
I think the looks kind of can come or go. I think the kids, the two dogs, like the surrounding things around it. Like, so for instance, when we went to that festival in Inman Park, you remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
We bought shirts with weirdo on them.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
In that day, it was a lot of gay dudes that were unappreciative of you having a friend that was straight. Do you remember that? Like staring and all of
So
that stuff.
one of the things that I don't know that people, and I talked about this yesterday, is I have the ability to tune out my surroundings, um, particularly when I am aware of the attention that I'm getting. I go to a place where I tune everything out. And
Mm.
so I don't necessarily remember that, because I do remember the day and I remember the looks of people, because what was weird was Tip was with us that day and each of us had a child. I had Davis, you had Haley, Tip had McKenna. And so the looks were, like, what is that? And so
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, I'm tuning all this out. Like, I'm just going to enjoy the day. I'm going to enjoy being with Davis. And that was that for me.
Yeah. I mean, two things about that are funny. One, Davis remembers that whole day. I don't know if we're supposed to say his name because they're minors, but
Oh
my
yeah.
son remembers that whole day. He talks about it all the time, and he always brags that he threw up in your house because of all the candy and stuff that you got him. So it's your fault that he threw up in your house, not mine. I realize that now. The next thing is, I think part of the confusion that day was that my wife doesn't look like she would have had 3 kids.
Oh, that's true.
So
Yeah.
even so, because we split them up now and nobody looks like they have, like, then it got even more confusing. But that was my first time ever realizing that gay dudes don't like when straight dudes hang with gay dudes. It has nothing to do with, because
Gay.
everybody would
Wait.
imagine going into this conversation that, oh, a gay dude and a straight dude are friends. My friends probably have the problem, but it actually is a little bit weird on both sides of it when you go and do things together out in public.
I don't think my friends have a problem. Like I don't know any gay guy. In fact, most of my gay friends have straight friends that have a similar relationship that you and I have. Like I don't
All
think.
right, so I'll give you an example then, because
Okay.
I, I know that you're concise and want to make when when you had that party at your house, and I
Okay.
was the only straight dude there, and my wife came.
I don't
It
remember,
was
but okay.
you
Go
don't.
ahead. I don't, but that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just don't remember it.
Oh, it was one guy was really nice, but everybody else the whole time spent their time wondering if there was something going on.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I kind of vaguely remember this.
Yeah, I remember because I was like, man, that dude's got on flip flops with fuzzy stuff on them. It's like that's crazy. Like that's crazy. He
um,
was.
so, but did that make you uncomfortable? So it made you, I don't know that they don't like it. They're trying to figure it out because, like with anything, if it's foreign to you and because of how you've experienced straight guys, um, whatever, being bullied by them, being called faggot, whatever it is, like whatever your experience is, you don't understand it. And I've experienced that, like, middle school and high school, like guys called me faggot and all kinds of shit. But I never let that I'm more of a one-on-one kind of relationship. I don't really give a shit. I understand
Right.
that you weren't the person that called me faggot, or, like that doesn't have anything to do with you or our friendship. That has to do with
Yeah,
my
it
past.
didn't make me uncomfortable with being friends with you. It just made me uncomfortable in the space I was in.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when you have so this is the part where I mess up so that you're aware and you can help correct me because I know I feel it. So when you deal with big personalities,
Yeah,
they can fill the room that you're in.
that's true.
And so I was like, well, I don't want to compete with that big personality. I'll just sit over here and chill, where I probably would have had a lot more fun if it had been a little more open.
So one of the things I don't disagree with that. In fact, like I understand that completely, but I also the thing I understand about big personalities is what's driving it is their insecurity and
Oh, yeah.
their need for attention. And so for me, I don't feel the need to compete with that because it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with them feeling the need to, or just having their needs met. And so it's not going to have any impact on my ability to have fun. Um,
Yeah. It did for me because I'm not used to hanging out with big
big, yeah,
personality.
yeah, right. Yeah. And I
Um,
am, like, I know, like
yeah.
a lot of gay men overcompensate in ways like with designer clothes or feeling the need to be over the top because
Yeah.
they need that validation. They need to be funny. They need to be, and I won't, what, like I'm making a generalized statement, and I think that that's true of everyone. Like the
Yeah.
reason that
Yep.
women wear those lashes or do all, it's because they need that validation. And I think that there's something there, like it makes you feel better about yourself. but it also is because externally you want to be noticed. You want to
Yeah.
basically saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. And I
Well,
don't have that
it can
many
be
people.
off-putting though. Like
Yeah, it can
for
be.
me in a room full of men that are gay, because remember, I can say things that are accidentally irritating to people if I don't, you know, I have it, I can ruffle feathers accidentally. And you said the best quote ever. Um, I'm gonna say from a gay person ever in a shit talking situation was, don't get gay and punk confused, right?
Absolutely.
There's still 10 dudes in the house. I don't want to offend anybody. You know what I mean? I don't know everybody's relationship. I don't know what's going on. I just know there's a lot of big personalities, and I don't want to, you know, I just watched and had fun. I mean, I did not have fun.
I think that one of the things that I appreciate, or that I think is the a defining thing of our friendship, is our ability. Like, I don't take offense to things that you say, because I know at your core, one of the things I know is that you're naturally curious, and you say things not from a mean, malicious way, but from a I want to understand. Or even if I correct you, you're like, oh, well, I don't understand why that is offensive. Why is that offensive? And I explain to you, it's like, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Or you may not even get it, but you just know that it's offensive. So I appreciate that about you, because it's like, all right. But the thing with me is, the reason you have to take that with a grain of salt is I'm not naturally offended by a lot of shit. Like,
No, you're not.
and if I am offended, I will say something and then I'm done with it. Like, I don't really give a shit. Like, go through
Yeah.
life and be offensive. Who cares? But you're not going to talk to me like that. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I think for me, being able to ask questions in the beginning, especially, was really good because I could fumble around, not have to worry about the terminology. Or I remember we had the pronouns conversation. That was like an hour of your life that you'll never get back ever. Um, but I didn't understand it, and I honestly didn't think it would be as big as it is now, considering that was, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago that we were having that conversation. So, you know, I think a big problem in this country, and with maybe it's with people in every country, I'm not sure, is that we like to be heard, but we don't like to listen, right?
true.
And
Yeah.
so if I want you to hear me and ask you the question, I have to be accepting of whatever the answer is, um,
And being
and respect
respectful
that.
of, that's right. That's right. And be
Yeah.
respectful of it,
And that
because
doesn't
it
mean I
may
have
not
to
be the
agree.
answer you want. Yeah, exactly.
It's never the answer I want.
Yeah.
So that we're clear with you, it's never it's, it's never
Yeah,
the
I
answer I
mean, and
want.
most times it's not the answer I want, but like, I think the willingness to sit down and have a conversation with people, like, a lot of times people aren't even willing to do that because they are so mired in their stance that they are
Right.
immovable. Like, they don't want to learn, they don't want to be open, they don't want to grow. Like, they are very happy standing still, doing nothing, being
Yeah.
a stump, basically, because
I mean, we see it in politics every day. So there's no way you could see it in one place and not the other. You're going to see it all over the place. It's just the
true.
way, it's the way, it's funny when social media first started, it said, oh, we're going to give everybody a voice. Nobody ever thought that some people don't deserve a voice, right? But also, when you give everybody a voice, you're not giving them ears to go with that voice. They don't hear anything, they
That's
just
right.
talk.
That's right.
So, you know,
And then
that's,
the more that people find something that they are saying and it resonates with them, and they get their audience grows, the more they
mhm,
talk and the more they think they're right.
yeah,
They
yeah,
don't respect alternative viewpoints
yeah,
at all.
yeah. I mean, somebody watching this is going to say, no, you're wrong. And
Oh yeah.
I'd be comfortable with being wrong, but don't tell me I'm wrong and not tell me why you're
Yeah.
right or whatever. Because it could be that I am making mistakes with the things that I'm saying or the verbiage or whatever. But it's not that I just don't know. Like,
Well,
I'll
the
admit when I don't know
problem
something.
the problem that I have with, so there are people that will be watching this. Um, some of them have left comments under my videos, assuming that they know me. And the problem with that is you take some of my videos are 6 minutes, 9 minutes, and you're watching a 6 minute video, and then you think that that gives you permission to say who I am. And it doesn't. Like, I've been on this earth for 54 years. Like, so you're watching a 6 minute video and think you have the right to comment and tell me about my personality.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
ridiculous.
what the internet is. The internet
Yeah,
gives everybody, you can go to a million videos today and drop those troll comments if you want, if you don't have anything else to do.
yeah.
Um, but for somebody like you who's creating content, the fact that they clicked is all that matters, right? Like,
Well,
you know,
no, that's really not. Well, for me, because I said this yesterday, that's not all that matters for me. Like it is for some people. Because
for
for me,
some people, yeah.
I'm not chasing anything on here. Like I'm not chasing fame or, viral
So
videos.
if they send you a check, can I have it?
Well, I'm not gonna say that. But I mean, I'm just not like that's not my motivation. My
Yeah, I got you.
motivation here is this is an outlet for me. And I think that I have been blessed with a diverse circle of friends that I value and that I think value me. And I think that I want people to get a glimpse into that because I think that people are they only create circles of likeness, and I don't have a circle of likeness. I have a very diverse circle because it feeds me and
Hmm.
I grow from that. And I don't, and I think that that's what's missing for most people. But, like I have friends like you and Tiffany, I have white friends. Just to let people know a little quick story. So, Dwight and I and his wife, we went to Aruba, and my mother, a close friend of hers, has a house in Aruba, so we stayed in their house. Um, and we were hanging out doing whatever, and we were getting ready to leave, or I don't know what we were doing, but somehow we started talking about my mother's friends who owned the house where we were staying, and you and Tiffany were under the impression that they were black, but they actually were white. And so, but I think both of you were a little stunned by that. Like you were like, wait, this is a white person's house? And I was like, like my mom is friends, one of her close friends is a white woman who owns this house and a house in Costa Rica. So like, but I think that and I only bring that up because I think a lot of times because we are so conditioned to believe that all black people, the majority of our friends are black, or or whatever the case may be, whatever walk of life you're participating in, that you think that your circle of friends is a circle of likeness when it could be anything. And I
Well,
think
in
that
my
that
defense, in
go
that
ahead.
situation, the house was decorated very well, and it was hard to tell. I'll say that. How about it was there's no flowery couches in there, so it was great.
No, there weren't. There weren't.
No, it
Yeah.
was awesome. I think that one of the things you said that kind of stuck with me through that was that people create these circles of likeness, but I think that since COVID happened, people are changing the way they create their circles and stuff, and they're dealing with mental health issues and things like that. And your circle, because it's so different, probably gives you an insight into different perspectives on a lot of different topics and a lot of different things that help you fight those things. Whereas a lot of people probably are just in the house, not able to keep their circle going right now. So, I
That's
think
true.
there's,
That's true. I
I
think
think,
that that's true, and I don't know that I've ever thought of it in that way. That's probably very true.
yeah, because if all your friends are one thing, then, when the midterms came, if all your friends are Republicans, you were all sad that you didn't win Georgia or whatever it was. Or if all your friends are in medicine and in January all the rates get cut, you're dealing with all of the same issues. So your ups and downs, all my friends are day traders. So we're all depressed because my stock market's going down.
Yeah,
But with
they mirror you.
having
Like,
different, yeah.
yeah,
So you're not able to get anybody to pull you up when you're down if everybody's dealing with the same issues.
yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. I hadn't considered that. Yeah, and maybe that's, but for me, maybe that's by design because I deal with, my depression, and and maybe I need that. Like, I need to be able to get things from different people at different times. Let's
Yeah.
um let's talk about so I talked about it yesterday with Wendell, and I was he loved the idea. I love the
Does
idea.
he?
Yeah, he loved the idea. I did not mention what
No,
we
you
talked.
can't yet. Yeah, this got to unveil it today. We got to unveil it today. I'm excited to talk about it actually. So
Okay,
that's cool.
so let's talk about it because you mentioned mental health. So do you want to tell the backstory of how it got started?
Yeah, so I'll tell the backstory first.
Okay.
So I was going through a rough patch. I was really, really depressed and going through some things in my personal life that were terrible. And a buddy of mine sent me a box. It showed up regular. It's just a regular box. And I opened it up and it had razors, shaving cream, face wash, cologne, um,
Nice cologne.
really, really nice, like a tester of cologne. Like it's that nice where you don't send the whole thing.
Well, the whole thing, I think one bottle of that cologne costs like $200 or something.
Oh, minimum. Yeah. I think the tester was 80.
Yeah,
So it touched me. And it made me feel special that day. And it felt weird to say that a guy was able to make me feel special by sending me a box of stuff that I use in the bathroom while I'm by myself.
yeah.
But all of that happened. And so that night I was saying thank you to him. And I decided to send two of my friends a box, same exact box, same exact thing to their house. And I got an overwhelmingly positive reaction to sending this box out. And
Wait,
so,
hold on. I want to talk about something because I want you to talk about it. So, wasn't there a note in the box?
oh, he just said he wanted to do a bro check.
Okay.
So I did the same note. Good point. Sorry. That was good, Scott. Thank you, man. So he wanted to do a bro check. So, when the boxes got to my other friends' houses and they were so excited, one of them was going through a divorce. One of them is not. He's really happy. But it got there on his wife's birthday, so he couldn't open it because he felt like that would be bad. But he opened it the next day. He's like, man, this is fantastic. I used all this crap that you sent me. Um, so I
Crap.
called the guy who sent it to me. His name is Bert. And I said, Bert, man, I think we're on to something. I think that men are taught to not deal with emotion. You get hurt, you don't cry. You got to get up, put whatever weight on your shoulders you got to, but you don't look like it's heavy. Um, and for one of my boys to check on me to make sure I was okay is new to me. It
Right.
was never happened. I mean, it's happened. I mean, a phone call, but never anything like this where it's somebody took time to think through what they were sending me. I got a bald head. I don't grow hair anymore. So they sent a razor, like those kind of things are cool. So we decided to start a company called Bro Pack. And the logo is really cool. It's bro, and then it's a circle with a check mark, and then pack, because if guys want to check on their friends or make their friends feel special, or you're having a bachelor party, or a wife or mother or daughter wants to send something to their brother, you can go to this website and you can pick a box, right? And then you can pick what goes in the box and it gets mailed to them. And it doesn't have to be a special reason or anything like that. But one, we're making it easier for women to spoil men, which
Yeah.
is needed, in my opinion. And then we're also making it possible to do mental health checks on your buddies that maybe don't live near you anymore.
Right.
Give you an opportunity to make somebody's day, you know?
It also
So
allows, because of what you were talking about, the need for, or I won't say the need for, but men in general just being uncomfortable with emotions, it
mhm.
allows you to do something that is an active thing, right? But you don't have to really have any feelings about, because in order to pick up the phone and call someone and do a bro check, you got to be prepared that they may
Yeah.
say, I'm not doing well, and I or break down and start crying,
Yeah.
and then you're like on the phone, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? So it allows you to maintain some distance, but still show up and show your bro that you care. Like,
Yeah.
so
You
I
get to
think it's
make somebody's day without having to give the emotional part of that just by
right,
reaching out and touching somebody.
right,
Um, and it is kind of fun to pick things that you think they'll like
yeah,
and maybe some things that they don't know they need.
yeah,
Kind of is fun to try to do with somebody. It gives you something to talk about with them for a couple days while they try out the cologne or cut their head shape. I cut my head because his razors were so sharp.
oh wow.
um yeah, but it was, even though I was bleeding half to death, it still was funny, so I got to call him and talk about that. So it gave us more reason to talk about nothing.
So you get to pick, and so you hand pick the box. You get to pick the items that are going in the box as the
Yeah,
consumer.
so you get to pick the box, right? Because I want to have four different. So okay, so let's be honest.
All right.
I'm creating this website, okay, myself, and
Yes.
I've done it before, but I'm not, you know. So there's four places to put box names.
Okay.
So I'm doing the four box names now, and then you pick the box. So each box will look different, right? So
Yeah.
there's a bro box.
Yes.
So that will look like, it'll probably be like a faux alligator skin type deal,
Oh, okay.
right?
That's nice.
And so there'll be a boo box, which is from your girlfriend, which will be kind of a little more sexy, right?
Why does
Maybe
it?
that'll be silky.
Why does it have to be from your girlfriend? Because like I might have a boo.
Right. So okay. So this okay. All right. So this is what. So can I tell the whole story, or do I
Yeah,
just tell?
absolutely. Go for it.
All right. So your audience will hopefully find this hilarious. Tiff, I got to tell. So Tiff came in the house while we were talking. I got to
Okay.
tell the story about how we were talking about Scott. So Scott called me on the same day that I was talking about him, probably about 30 minutes apart from having this conversation. So I'm really excited about the bro pack. I'm showing my wife the different boxes. So you got the boo box, the bro box, the check box, and then I had one
Keep going.
I had one box that I needed to fill, and so I wanted to fill it with something that was very forward thinking, that would appeal to people that had a boo like you. So I'm trying to make all the names a B something in box.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, Tiff, I got the bro box, I got the bachelor box for bachelor parties, I got the boo box. What about a butt box?
I want you to know. I want you to know that the entire time leading up to you saying the butt box, you are squirming and doing all these things in your
I'm so uncomfortable. So okay, so to me it's hilarious because it would be I'm sorry, hold on. A butt box is the funniest thing in the whole
now
wide
what
world.
goes in the I just so I when you
Ugh.
told me when we were on the phone, I was kind of like, okay, I get the humor behind it, but I'm not sure everybody would find this. Like, I don't know that my friends they'd be like a butt box. Like, what the fuck is this?
All
So,
right, so here's the
what
thing.
is in the
The
butt?
butt
Let's talk about
box,
what's in the butt box.
no, see, that's the beauty of it. That's what you got to remember. The butt box is just what the box is called. You still
Does
pick
it
the
look
same
like a
stuff to go
butt?
inside. No, no, no. It'd be super sexy, like man on man sexy. Like it would be something that a man would want to get in the mail. It wouldn't be shaped like a butt. It would just, that's just what it would be called.
Okay,
It would still
so
be classy on the inside. It just would be hilarious to have an option of the butt box. Like, I just think that would be fun.
Okay, so one of the things that I spoke to Dwight about is that when we talked about this, that we could do a poll so the audience could participate in this conversation and let us know what you think about the butt box. So somewhere on my YouTube channel, I am going to put a poll about whether or not you like the wording of butt box, and maybe even an empty field for alternative names. Remember, they need to start with a B, like for a male to male
gift
box. So
wait, so be gentle in the comments. I'm super duper
you're frozen
on it, right? But it wouldn't be a butt box. Like, you don't open it up and it looks like a butt or anything like that. It's a classy box, the same as a bro box, a check box, and all the other options.
Okay.
It just has a humorous name.
It just has a humorous name. All right.
Yeah. So after that, you can pick jewelry. We have jewelry as an option. So we'll have jewelry types on there. We have fragrances on there. We have face washes on there. And then we're going to have an awesome sauce section, which will be things that are just ridiculously cool that I found or somebody in our group found. Like, I found a hatchet that had a really cool wooden handle, and it came in a leather pack that you can put on your side if you fish or if you hunt or something like that. I just thought that was cool. I wouldn't mind walking around with a hatchet on my side. But things like that. So it won't be that it's a disrespectful butt box where a dildo pops out or something like that. It's still the same classy stuff, but a humorous name. Okay. And if I could have thought of a humorous name for anything, I would have changed it. So,
all right. So, is Tiff gonna join us?
Tiff, are you gonna make an appearance? She's camera shy. She's camera shy. You don't have to if you don't want to. You seem all uncomfortable. I don't know what he's going to want to talk about. It's Scott. You know it's going to be something crazy.
It's not. It is not going to be anything crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be moderately crazy. All right, so I got to take my headphones off, right, so she can hear you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're frozen. Oh, okay. There you go.
There you go. Okay. Hold on, I'll move it.
Hi, Scott.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. You're acting timid. We're not anything crazy. We're just talking. Just our normal conversation. Dwight and I were talking about our friendship, and we were talking about like when we've been hanging out and when we have been out in public and people, the stares and looks and people trying to figure out the dynamics of our friendship. And
a couple.
People thinking that he and I are a couple, and like even when the three of us went to Aruba and all of that kind of stuff. And I was wondering, like, your perspective, like how it has impacted you. Like, have you ever thought something was going on or like anything like that? Oh, you're frozen.
Yeah, I'm putting headphones in because she's making comments that you're missing.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What are you doing?
It's just doing the AirPod thing. Oh. You know, sometimes AirPods are, well, we could just leave it.
It's fine the way it is. Okay. So to answer your question, no, I didn't ever think there was anything going on. I don't know why I have that level of trust in Dwight, but you seemed like, you know, always such a nice, honest person that I didn't have any reason to think anything otherwise. So yeah.
You base that on him being honest? That's what you based our relationship on?
Yes,
awesome.
That's very,
awesome.
Very nice.
Hey, Scott, because I'm married.
She said what she said.
because I'm married, Scott, we can't do it. I'm sorry. Oh, gosh.
Like, and just so everyone knows, like, Tiffany and I, like Dwight and I became friends, but Tiffany and I forged a separate friendship outside of Dwight. Like Tiffany has come to my house and helped me paint my bathroom when I did not want.
How
Like,
much?
and look, and so I put a coat on, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And she was like, no, you're not. We're gonna do a second coat. I was like, okay. Because I did not want to do that second coat, and Tiffany was like, no, we're gonna do a second coat.
Yeah, we need to help that. Yeah, I think you and I had a lot more in common, on a personal level with food and just, fashion and home and stuff. So I think that's how we bonded and just kind of grew from there.
What you mean? I have fashion. My sweater almost fits. Solid. I took time to put this on. I had on a white t-shirt, Scott.
Well, I'm sure Scott probably had a lot of influence on that though at some point in time.
He only picked out my clothes for like a couple months because he said I was hurting. So. It was just a couple months to get me started, get my base coat in. He got my base coat.
Speaking of, I have like a jacket of yours in my closet
Do you really?
Yes, I do. And some sweaters in my closet too.
I'm gonna need those because I still wear the same clothes, so it's nothing changed. I'm sure you picked this out right here, so there you go.
That doesn't look familiar. It's a little ill-fitted, but
well, that's because I gained a bunch of weight. You didn't notice.
Everybody did. That's because I have my own weight. What about when we went to Aruba? Like, did you? Wait, what were the comments I was missing? Because you said the Tip was making comments, but I was missing them.
Yeah, what was
she said we make such a cute couple.
Oh.
We went to Aruba, like, I didn't even think anything of it. Like,
they didn't. Nobody hit on me down there. They hit on him.
Maybe I missed all that. I don't know. Sometimes I'm a little bit like oblivious to what's going on around me. But most people would think, well, why are you going on a vacation with
two guys?
Yeah, like
nasty.
Who's the third wheel? I never thought anything of it. I mean, I was going to have a good time,
Yeah. I think we all like the thing that the three of us relate. There's a picture that I have, and it's on my Instagram of the three of us. And we are all shit faced, but like we were pissy drunk that night, and we were in a room. And I think that we kind of have fun with just hanging out and going out to eat and drinking, and enjoying just like meals and life, and I think that's how we bond, because we love to do things like that.
Yeah, and I think the fact that, we didn't give a shit about what anybody was thinking. We were just in the moment and enjoying all those things and enjoying each other's company. So,
and I think that's what we said in the beginning, Scott, was if you're going to get caught up in what everybody you walk past is thinking all the time, then you're going to
missing out.
Yeah, you're going to struggle. You've got to be able to, because people always want to be in your business.
Yeah.
So if you give them that opportunity, you can not have a lot of fun with people that are pretty hilarious. So, we never thought about it or talked about it or any of that stuff. It didn't ever come up with us on this side of the house. It never came up.
No, not at all.
Well, okay. So I'm gonna bring up like a question of how did it come up as it relates to your kids, like that Scott is gay?
Oh, I remember. So my son, when he went and threw up in your apartment, he was like, I want to grow up to be just like Scott. I don't want to get married, none of that stuff. Like, his apartment's cool, like he lives downtown, like we had a great day, like I want to be just like Scott. And it was like, cool. So you don't ever want to get married? He was like, no. Well, soon after that, you developed a friend relationship with an individual that you wanted to bring around. And so I needed to prepare him for when he met the guy. You know what I mean?
That's the guy that I went on a trip with that the kids did a birthday video for me.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so I had the conversation then, but it was funny because he kind of knew, but he didn't understand. Right? like, do you see that? He knew, but you see it?
Those little gnats that
What
like
is
my
it?
plant over there.
Yeah.
So he knew, but he didn't really understand. And so we just talked about it because he knew some kids at school that already were saying that they were, and he was in like the 4th grade. So it was an easy conversation. I mean,
and I think their generation, so they're Gen Z, so Haley and Davis, so they're they're in high school now. Their generation has grown up with it being completely normal.
Yeah.
So if we think that might slightly be offensive to them, they're very defensive and they're very aware, and they're very into the pronouns, and it's just a different mentality, different mindset, just the way that they've been educated and raised, in schools and social media, things they've seen and heard. So I think growing up in Atlanta definitely helped in sort of having those conversations.
Right.
Atlanta is North Carolina.
You gotta have Atlanta. You gotta have those conversations because you'll be on the street and see.
Right.
And it's just not it's not just about your sexuality, but it's about drugs and everything else. Just the culture in Atlanta is going to be completely different from anywhere else that we've lived on on this side of the East Coast anyway. So
now we do see we do see cross dressers a lot more.
Are you talking about trans people, or are you talking about men?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Because I don't know the exact difference, right? But I would imagine that a trans person is a man that is starting to look like a woman. These are not men that look like women. They're hairy, they're big, they look like men, but they'll have on a dress.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But they may just so there are trans people that use the pronouns of she and her, but they still have facial hair. They still, they don't shave their body. Like they wear what they want to wear. They also could be non-binary. They don't identify with any sex. You know what I mean? Like, so they may
it's
have
not binary. Our waiter told us he was non-binary, but they weren't. But then he went through their pronouns in his head for each, because they were also patrons that he knew, because he worked. So he was like, no, that person's a she, that person's a them. Like he knew everybody's pronouns. I just couldn't keep up with it fast enough because he was just right.
Plus, it's hard to tell, maybe, just from the outside looking in, unless you really know the person.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. It's a different
world. Their sexuality. Sex with them, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, true. So we are approaching the top of the hour, and I know you all have like a funeral, and I didn't want to be, I'm always being respectful of other people's time, but I appreciate this conversation, and I love you guys very much, like your entire family. I love. And I miss you guys, and I hope you. And I got your Christmas card. I haven't opened it yet, but I haven't opened it.
I'm out of years, so don't feel like you've been missing out several years. It's just the first time I've gotten.
Actually, what will be interesting? I would love to see your reaction. Don't show the camera, the kids and all that. I would love to see your reaction to what the kids look like.
You've probably seen him.
You see him? Oh, that's right. I'm not on Instagram.
I have. Yeah, I have.
I'm not on Instagram, so I apologize.
No, it's okay. So, and just so everyone knows, I'm going to put the poll about the butt box.
Oh, good.
Butt box. We'll get our answer.
And I'm gonna put it on Instagram also, so so people can kind of chime in and see what they say.
That's good.
Cool. Be gentle.
Happy holidays, and I'll see you soon. I'm gonna stop recording.